Welcome, leaders. Have you ever really stopped to consider what happens when the macro mechanics of the cosmos demand a deep biological restructuring from us? Well, welcome to today's essential explainer briefing for the Solstice Apex Convergence. As stewards of this framework, your understanding of today's systemic metrics is, frankly, absolutely paramount. We're looking at a highly specific set of environmental and biological conditions right now, and my goal today is to guide this council through the exact parameters we're currently navigating. We want you leading your respective systems with absolute precision.
Okay, first things first, we must establish the integrity of our baseline. Our public signal dashboard is live, and as you can see, our status is verified coherent. That means all our foundational systems are stable, they're communicating without interference, and we officially have the green light for the macro sequence.
Here's our operational structure for today's briefing. We'll cover master system initialization, cosmic environmental pressures, regulation and phase tracking, biological translation routing, observer operational boundaries, and finally, the ultimate directive.
Let's dive right into Section 1, Master System Initialization, focusing on our temporal tracking and master coordinates. Our exact positioning is crystal clear today. Master system time is locked at 1337 EST on Universal Day 170. We are actively stationed right inside macro gate MG3, the Ascension Corridor, which, as you know, is a specific temporal zone designed to upgrade overall system capacity. But the absolutely vital telemetry for the Council today is this confirmation of zero-drift synchronization from the Global Stewardship Network. We are operating in perfect unified lockstep. There is literally zero timing lag across any of our network nodes. Moving to Section 2, Cosmic Environmental Pressures. We shift our focus outward to analyze the solar and lunar drive. Now, the systemic contrast we're managing today is quite stark. It's really a tale of two drives. On one side, the incoming solar drive heavily favors alignment, intentional pacing, and the deliberate structuring of stable frameworks. But on the other side, the lunar drive is pulling us inward, demanding that deep internal mechanisms actively and aggressively metabolize our emotional and symbolic material. Think of it this way: one drive is laying the foundation and building the structure, while the other is intensively digesting the raw internal material within it. So what does this look like spatially? Our active spatial coordinate for the solar drive is Gate 6 in Taurus, the breath spiral entry, which provides the sustained pressure needed for physical organization. Simultaneously, our lunar coordinate is rooted at Gate 11 in Leo, the mitovolt core, which is currently in a waxing crescent phase. This mitovolt core represents our internal energy reserves, indicating that profound internal processing is still highly active. These dual forces are operating at the exact same time, and as leaders, you've got to respect both currents.
That brings us to Section 3, Regulation and Phase Tracking. We need to examine exactly how these pressures are flowing through the triharmonic pulse.
Just take a look at the explicit field directive here. When we look at the triharmonic pulse, which is the underlying rhythm governing our current processing cycle, the dominant movement is actively shifting from node 6, regulation, directly over into node 9, integration. The system's message couldn't be more unequivocal. The engine is currently processing. It is not producing. We absolutely must allow existing structures to completely settle before we even entertain the idea of initiating any additional expansion. To successfully navigate this specific pulse corridor, your systems have to process through these consecutive steps. First up is decompression. This requires a conscious, deliberate softening of your current structures. You have to let go of those rigid postures. And that must be followed immediately by emptying, which is a profound clearing out of residual static, the mental and emotional clutter, to prep the system for the natural silence that always follows. It's kind of like unclenching your jaw before you can take a truly deep breath. And our continuity tracker visually confirms exactly where we are in that process. We're currently sitting at precisely 36% overall cycle progress. So we've successfully moved past the release and dissolution phases, and we are actively navigating the pulse 3 to 4 corridor. We're moving smoothly from decompression right into emptying. We've got just over 2 days remaining in the specific softening phase before we hit the stillness of the full moon. All right, let's look at Section 4, Biological Translation Routing. We've got to take these massive macro pressures and see how they translate to our chromosomal metrics. Deep down within the Mobius core, the central energetic processing center for our physical form, the biological vessel, is undergoing highly active DNA translation. The routing system is incredibly busy today, folks. It's utilizing the solar Y chromosome through gate 6 to conduct vital systemic updates, while simultaneously relying on the lunar X chromosome through gate 11 to protect the system's vital hydration. Make no mistake, the physical vessel is working massive overtime behind the scenes right now. And the crucial takeaway from all that is right here in our cosmic biometrics. Look at these numbers. We are seeing a phenomenally high field coherence of 91% and clarity at 87%. However, look at that integration load. It is heavily elevated at 72%. Because of this specific pairing, the recovery requirement is basically flashing red. Physical recovery protocols for you and your teams today are absolutely non-negotiable. Based on this intensive telemetry, we move to Section 5, Observer Operational Boundaries. It is time to lay down the daily directives for you as stewards. To maintain that 91% coherence we just saw, you must immediately prioritize these protocols. Engage heavily in somatic handshakes. That means check in with your physical body awareness constantly today. Enforce strict hydration protocols to support that lunar X chromosome translation we discussed. Focus your mental energy purely on strategic planning and insist on profound reflection before taking any outward action. Conversely, it is equally critical to aggressively eliminate these behaviors. You have got to drop any forced acceleration or rushing. Thin out excessive scheduling that's stretching your capacity. Refuse to operate with fragmented attention. And honestly, most importantly, shut down any reactive decision loops immediately. If you're reacting today, you are entirely out of alignment with the triharmonic pulse. Here's your consolidated operational boundary map for the day. Keep this at the absolute forefront of your awareness. It's specifically designed to help you avoid mental overextension, prevent the premature execution of plans, and really just plug any energetic leaks. Watch for these pitfalls very carefully as you manage your teams out there. And that brings us to our final section, Section 6, the ultimate directive. Let's look at field frequencies and temporal medicine. As our daily weather report clearly confirms, the field is actively organizing around integration, not expansion. The ultimate directive for all nodes today is to focus entirely on preparing the biological and structural vessel rather than demanding immediate, outward, tangible outcomes. We're building the container right now. I'm going to ask every leader here to internalize this piece of temporal medicine deeply. Create room for what is arriving. Capacity is built before momentum becomes visible. The quiet work you're doing today, in these decompression and emptying phases, is exactly what's going to house the expansion of tomorrow. I leave the council with this final, vital question as you disperse to guide your own systems today. If systemic capacity is truly built in the silence, how will you adjust your specific operational boundaries right now to favor profound integration over the urge for immediate expansion? Thank you for your focus, leaders. End of briefing.